Bleach chapter 641. Baby, hold your hand. Part 4. When I am sleeping. It's me, Captain Vazes. We live action. You already know what it is. Now, before I put out my reviews and do my reviews, you know, I don't watch no one else's reviews. That's just my policy. You know, I watch people's reviews after I push out mine. Now, I don't know if anyone else has said it, but if not, I'm going to be the first one to say it. This whole fight needs to wrap up. It really does. I mean, damn. This, to me, it's starting to feel like it's dragging on. Maybe because, yes, it's in manga form. You know, when it gets animated, it's going to seem shorter, but whatever. But the crazy thing is, we see something we haven't seen in a long time. We see when the chapter starts out, of course, we see Nemu hands Mayuri, I think the Hoji Fukai, I believe that's the name of it. It's the little thing he puts in the any type of limb that gets, you know, chopped off or ripped off, and the arm just grows back. It just grows back. We haven't seen that in so long. And we see Nemu, she uses the same thing on her arm. Now, I guess that's the one thing that can just quickly solve any type of limb to grow back. Well, I don't know. Because in the world of Bleach, we see limbs always get taken off. Always. But in this case, I don't think that whole thing will work on any other Soul Reaper. I think it's just specially modified for Mayuri and Nemu. So, Nemu goes on to tell Mayuri that basically she's been keeping an eye on him. She noticed that this time he didn't grab all the chemicals and the supplements and all the things he needs for battle. She noticed he didn't do that, but he's kind of, you know, he doesn't really like that she's always watching him like that. So he immediately just jumps off and he hits the switches on the front of his boots. Click. And we see the Quincy technique that he's been using. It just extends even further. It reminded me of Gundam, like increased thruster output. So basically his strategy was this. While he's dodging the arrows from Pranada, you know, we see the other hands come up with other arms, and they're just shooting arrows, and he's doing all these evasive maneuvers. And he tells Nemu his plan is, while he's putting down the chemical that basically numbs the nerves, that's when she comes in and basically stabs the arrow while the nerves are connected to it, because it'll basically freeze the blood or make it coagulate. And with him sprinkling the agent around to make the nerves numb, that makes it safe for her to land on the ground to do that. Now, at this point, I'm starting to notice that Nemu, she is still acting on her own. I mean, while they're communicating through the comm link, you know, he tells her, she tells him, you know, he's too loud. You know, you can see that she's basically speaking up for herself. You know, she's doing things and saying things that she would never normally do. But this goes to show that she, for whatever reason, can think for her own and feel for her own. She's not just some project or some type of bioweapon that Mayuri made up. Because one would think that that'd be something he created in her, like some type of fail switch plan. Like, oh, if I'm getting ready to die, or if I'm on a lot of tricks, don't worry, my Lieutenant Nemo, she'll just go ahead and activate this super technique and save the day. So, at this point, we see, of course, it actually started to work. And at this point in the chapter, I was starting to get worried. I was really starting to get worried because I just do not see how he can win. Everything he's doing so far is getting just shot down. It's failing. And I'm liking that. Like I said before in the chapters before, you know, my reviews, I like the fact that these things are not working for Mayuri, because he didn't have a whole bunch of time to study and plan against this fight. He didn't even know he was gonna fight Pranada, you know. So I'm liking this. So when I seen the actual hands, the arm free, you know, the blood coagulating, it just hardens, I'm thinking like, okay, I know this isn't over. Because on manga stream, that was page 15. I'm like, this can't be it unless it was gonna switch to another fight. Because I was thinking there's still a few pages left, so something has to happen. Then I'm thinking, well, no, maybe it's gonna be a dialogue between Mayuri and Nemu, and we get more backstory on Nemu, or she'd go in depth by explaining why she's feeling the way she's feeling. So at this point, we see the two arms, you know, how it was coagulating and freezing up, and we see one where it was almost happening, and he took Pranada to take the thumb and broke his own thumb off. First he did it with the middle finger, then turned it to another arm, but this time he broke the thumb off. And at that point he tells Mayuri, do you think this will work on me? Do you think that would be enough? And that's when Mayuri was realizing, wait a minute, it's as if Jiraki was, you know, talking to me like that. Like, is he really evolving? So he actually realizes and put two and two together. Whatever the nerves touch, he takes the data from wherever the nerves touch. So when he said that, that instantly made me think of, you know, Yodorichi. That's what made me think, you know, he winded up her arm and just tossed her, you know. That made me think of her. And at this point, That's when the drug just didn't even work. The anesthetic, it just did not work. He started to just rip off and peel off. He just broke out of it. And he realized this is the technique that he probably got from, not the technique, but the ability he got from my increased bunkai, my upgraded bunkai. And right then at that point, I'm thinking, okay, now this thing is constantly evolving and getting stronger. You know, this is part of the Soul King, mind you. So this is clearly going to show that no matter what you use on him, if he puts the nerves in you, it's just not going to work. So he realizes no matter what Nemu can do, even with her speed, it's not going to be effective. It's not going to be enough, especially since he took the data and information from Kenpachi. And at that point, he tells Nemu to get away. We see Mayuri again. He looks frightened, concerned. We don't see that a lot. It looks like he's like, damn, this is it. Everything is over. And we see Nemu just standing there looking up. And it's pissed off, I had enough. Oh no, hell no, you done gone and done it type of look. And it says to be continued. Okay. So we get it. This chapter, if you're an action nut, if you love Mayuri Kurasuchi, this chapter is for you. Me, it's starting to feel like it was more of the same. Lather, rinse, repeat. Not necessarily bad, but nothing new or good either, because he's pulling out tricks, Pernida is countering them. Pulling out tricks, Pernida is countering. It's like, now, to me, I think this whole setup was just a story placement, a story bait to have an extensive look or background on Nemu, to open up the relationship between Nemu and Mayuri. Because outside of this, what other scenario could come up to where Nemu would act like this? To where she would act on her own, to where Mayuri would be like, first you're watching me, you're talking back against me, you're making moves on your own, and for Mayuri to reveal her whole name, for them to show a quick flashback. I can't think of another scenario outside of a battle, because Mayuri's not the sentimental type. If he is, he doesn't show it. It's like he has a wall up, alright? So I don't think we would have never seen Mayuri sitting down with some green tea or in his barracks or in his lab, sitting down having a heart-to-heart talk with Nemu, saying, you know, you've really grown her. I've came a long way. I'm really proud of my research. You know what, Nemu? Remember back then when that would never happen. So I think that's why this whole fight was set up for Mayuri to lose and for Nemu to step in. You know, Nemu will get really damaged or almost die, or to sacrifice himself for Mayuri. Mayuri will feel something like, damn, I just can't, you know, believe this. So, at this point in time, I really want this fight to wrap up. Next week, it seems like Nemu is going to do something powerful. Now, I swear on all my Bleach merchandise, if Nemu takes out the arm of the Soul King, Star Knight see the composure per night, we are going to have some problems. Now, granted, I know what you're thinking. Well, Ace, we don't know what she can do yet. We don't know what she can do yet. Maybe she'll activate a Bunkai. We don't know what her Shikai is. Maybe she can heavily damage Pernida, and then Mayuri can get the final blow. So it'll be a team effort thing. So it won't really seem like Nemu took out the whole Pernida. People can say that, or probably said that already. You're probably thinking that. But no. But this is what leaves me wondering, though. What's really going to happen? I'm afraid that Pernida may die by the hands of Nemu, or may lose this fight, period. Because think about it, if they both lose, we are going to have the arm of the Soul King wandering around. This thing can just win the whole battle. See, this thing can walk up on Ichigo and friends and lay them all out, basically. If not Ichigo. Lay them all out. War over. Basically. You know? But then, you know, it have to go up against Aiz. I love to see that. But, you know, even still, I mean, that's how you know something is going to happen, because this thing cannot just wander around like this. It's going to lose. I think maybe 1 or 2 Star Knights may survive, max. Max. Alright? You know, but and that's just max. But this thing, the battle needs to be over with. I hope when Pernida goes out, whoever takes him out, it better be justifiable. It better make sense. It better not be cheesy. It better not be no inconsistency with the power levels with it, because this, it looks like Nemu may take on the finishing blow. I don't know, it may do something that just defeats the arm of the Soul King. A freaking project of Mayuri. Now, after the whole fight, it should touch bases on Nemu's past. But I think another thing that could happen next chapter, in Bleach chapter 642, Nemu gets heavily damaged or injured, you know, or she dies, and it'll be a flashback. Because Mayuri, he's done with this fight. I'm sorry. Shikai can't do anything, Bunkai can't do anything, and his upgraded Bunkai can't do anything. All his little chemicals and agents and liquids and pathogens and excedrins and midols, all that stuff can't do nothing now. He's ass out. He didn't even use keto, and I don't even think that'd do nothing at this point. So overall, at least, pacing was good, but it was just more of the same. So I wasn't really hyped about this chapter. The only part, my favorite part of the chapter was when none of the things worked on Pranita. But yeah, we've seen that before though. So overall, this whole battle needs to get wrapped up. Give me your thoughts on it. Do you think Nemu is going to kill Pranita? How would you feel if she did? Or do you think it's going to be a joint effort? And do you want this fight to hurry up? Other than that, I thank you all for watching this Bleach review with me, Captain Vibes. I'll see you all next week. Signing out.